Hi, I'm Nate Paulson with Guns Explained. Today I'm going to be doing a short review on the Blackbeard X from Mantis, which is a dry-fire training system for AR-15. The Blackbeard X combines the gyroscopic features of the Mantis X dry-fire training system with the trigger reset and laser features of the Blackbeard system. So it works with AR-15, and it also gives you information about your aiming as well as your trigger control. So it combines the two systems, gets you the best of both worlds. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the functionality, the compatibility, the quality, and the usability of the system. The Blackbeard X uses the original Blackbeard bolt carrier group, where you've got a laser emitter up front and a little motor in here that will reset your trigger after you fire. The Blackbeard bolt carrier group replacement is accompanied by originally this Blackbeard magazine-shaped battery pack. The Blackbeard X comes with a bigger one. It's the same size as your run-of-the-mill AR-15 magazine. This has a gyroscope and an accelerometer in there to facilitate the trigger control features that the Mantis X training system uses. As far as compatibility goes, because the AR-15 is so modular and standardized, it should work with most AR-15s on the market. However, Mantis has listed some incompatibilities that they've noticed, specifically the Springfield St. Victor rifles, lower receivers with a sear block, so some Colt lower receivers will have that block, won't be compatible, you have to check that on your own. They're also not compatible with the Fostech Echo 2 trigger, which is a binary trigger. So that said, any of your regular old AR-15s, this one, for example, is an Arrow receiver set, or, for example, your Smith & Wesson M&P15, will be completely compatible with this system. As far as quality goes, we've had two of these bolt carrier group replacements between our original Blackbeard and the new Blackbeard X system. They're both made of the same rugged feeling plastic. I don't see many joints that could go wrong. However, that said, the clamshell plastic on some of these may not be the best fit. That's okay though, because there's no force applied to split this apart. Once it's in your rifle, it's fine. It just may take a little bit more to put it in and take it out. In my opinion, not a big deal. You be the judge of that though. To install the Blackbeard X into your rifle, it's really easy. No tools are required. You just take your rifle, of course making sure it's clear, no magazine, no ammo. We're going to pop out that takedown pin. Gonna remove our bolt carrier group and our charging handle. We'll make sure that our trigger is set so that it's down, so it won't be if your trigger is already fired, just bring that down, simple as that. You'll take the Blackbeard bolt carrier replacement, slide them in there, and bam, you're already assembled, and now you just take the battery and gyroscope pack. You heard that motor actuate. So now we can do some dry firing practice, which is the big selling point of this system, because every time you pull the trigger, if you heard that click, you might have heard that motor come through my microphone, it resets the trigger for you. So I can simply keep pulling that trigger, which is great. Now, of course, we want to make sure we obey all firearm safety rules. So this is an empty rifle, as you saw earlier. I see my target. I've got a hard backdrop beyond my target. Not that I'm actually shooting anything other than photons, which generally fine. Although with lasers, you do want to make sure there's no eyes behind there that you don't want to hurt. Laser safety is important too. So remembering that this also shoots out a laser, I can look through my scope if I wanted to. And every time I fire, a little laser comes onto the paper. So a note about that laser that you just saw, if it's not lined up with your scope, it's really easy to adjust. There's two little tiny dials that you can adjust with an included Allen wrench to help align the laser as it's emitted with your scope. So you can zero the laser to your scope. That said, at close distances like this, there will be a height over bore mismatch, so you won't get the laser exactly up to the center of your crosshair at short distances like this. But honestly, that's a fairly realistic scenario that you have to train around anyway. That's not an issue. As far as the laser brightness, that's actually another thing we can check really easily. It's also an aid to help in zeroing. There's a little lever right in here, you can flick with perhaps a knife point or a screwdriver, but it turns the laser on constantly. And so I can look at my paper, I can clearly discern where that laser is at. Against the paper really helps. A note along those lines, they sell a red laser version, a green laser version, an infrared laser version, and also a version without a laser. So if you're not interested in the laser training or laser academy, if all you want is the dry fire trigger resetting, they've got an option for you too. You don't have to worry about accidentally shining a laser somewhere you don't want to. As far as how fast the motor will reset your trigger, on their website they claim 10 shots per second, 10 resets per second, which is rather quick. I definitely can't fire that fast, but I'll do my best rapid fire attempt here for you. While that may not have been 10 in 1 second, it certainly was 10 in less than 2 seconds. So as far as how fast it resets for people like me, certainly adequate. Now, as far as incorporating this into your training program, you can use the Laser Academy app from Mantis, which uses the laser portion of the system. They have some drills that are built into the app that use targets. There are various shapes for different drills. You can also use the Mantis X app, which is one that they released with their Mantis X system, which uses the gyroscopes and accelerometer part of the magazine here to measure your trigger control and how much your rifle moves when you pull the trigger, which they originally released with their handgun system, which is phenomenal, by the way. We have a review on that too. But it incorporates both of those into one package for the modern AR-15, which is very ubiquitous these days. So here's just a little brief overview of Laser Academy. Here's on an iPad. It does work perfectly well on iOS. We have drills and courses. I just like to usually use drills. You have a basics tutorial, laser offset tutorial, so that's going to be your height over bore I mentioned earlier. There's a whole extra bunch of trainings and courses that you get if you get the Pro version. You can get that with the Laser Academy bundle. They have a number that are free, which I am happy with personally. To use the Laser Academy app to get the laser training portion of the system, you will need some kind of stand for your camera, some way to keep it steady, looking at the target while you're away shooting lasers at the target. And it's best if you are nearby your phone because it actually gives you live feedback of where you hit. It gives you a noise when it detects a shot. It's pretty neat stuff. For my closing thoughts on the Blackbeard X, it combines the Mantis X features of trigger control and making sure you're not flinching, for instance, with the trigger resetting functions of the original Blackbeard. For rapid fire shooters, or for those wanting to train to fire faster and controlled, it's very beneficial because you get live feedback. You get the instant trigger reset with the trigger on your rifle. So it's not, you know, somebody else's trigger that you're getting used to. It's your trigger that you're getting accustomed to, which in my opinion is very valuable. Because if you're not accustomed to your trigger, when you get onto your rifle after training some other way, then your skills aren't going to translate over. So it builds the skills on your rifle, which is really important. The laser portion is neat. It's not my priority personally, but it's a great plus to have if I wanted to do more of the rapid fire drills with the Laser Academy system. I would rather have that as just in case than not have it. I don't see a lot of downside to the Blackbeard X, especially over the original Blackbeard system. Combining the gyroscope and accelerometer features are great. So those are my thoughts. I am, of course, going to keep practicing with it. I'll let you know if my opinion does ever change. But thank you for watching our little review on the Blackbeard X laser and trigger reset system.